What's up, everybody? Welcome to a new episode of the Busy Life Podcast. My name is Julie, and today you guys are going to be so excited. I already know that for a fact. I've got my two girls, Tori and Kate. They are back. Last time, okay, if you guys didn't listen to our last episode, we talked all about accountability and fitness and coaching, and Kate and Tori have just skyrocketed after that. They are two of the most genuine people that I know, and I mean that from the bottom of my heart. And we've been friends for a while now, and just watching them live their most authentic life, cheering each other on, cheering their clients on, is a genuine honor to be able to do. And I'm so excited that they wanted to come back and they wanted to chat with you guys some more and tell us about where they're at and just, oh, I'm so excited. I can't help it.
We're excited to be back. We're glad you wanted us back.
Oh my God, of course. You're going to make me cry.
It's nice to be back and not nervous this time. I was definitely nervous last time, and now I'm like really excited.
Well, now you're a podcaster, so you know.
You guys are pros. You're pros by now. We'll just have to do a new episode every season, and that's just how this will have to happen. I want to let you guys take the floor. So for those of the people who didn't listen to the episode yet, which you absolutely need to, and I will link it in our show notes, tell them about you guys. Tell them a little bit about what you do and a little bit about your story.
I'll go first. It all started with sweat. We said that this isn't the last podcast, but it all started with the sweat app and how we were working out and creating our own kind of community and accountability via Instagram. I think for me, it was trying to lose baby weight post babies 2 and 3. Actually, it was like harder each time, I think. And Tori and I ended up meeting, and we're just following each other and cheering each other on via Instagram for a while. And then, Tori started doing some accountability coaching. She had some clients and was doing her own thing, and it was something that I was really interested in. I feel like it was something that I had done loosely via Instagram, just with friends and creating accountability groups together, but they never really seemed to stick. And then I asked Tori for some advice about getting started, and she actually said, shall we do things together? And I was like, yes, that's the dream. And it's actually so much better doing it in a pair than I imagine it would have been doing it on my own. I think the fact that we can bounce ideas off of one another, I find it so much easier to support us as a team than I would to promote myself as an individual. I feel like it's just so much stronger that we have this bond and this team, and that when you're working with Thrive, that you're working with both of us. It's just been really, really good.
I actually realized today that it is 4 years since lockdown started, and that is when I really started my Instagram, my sweat Instagram. That has definitely evolved over the years, but that means we're on our 4-year anniversary, Kate, from when we first met, which is cute. I know. The story is really natural. It was just a real progression from just supporting each other online into meeting up in person a few times, and then just going for it, because what have we got to lose? Nothing to lose. If it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. That is it. But I think we're proving that it is working out really well for us. And like Kate said, having two people working towards the same goal, because obviously we both want it to be successful, but it means we can really lean on each other when things are just busy in our lives, because of course we have kids, we have full-time jobs, we have things going on, and it's been the season for sick kids at the moment. So, there's been lots of stuff going on with us. We can just lean on each other to be like, oh, can you get that post out today? Can you do this? Blah, blah, blah. It's easier to just have that person instead of feeling like you are just alone doing it by yourself. It's lovely.
That is literally the epitome of what you guys do though. And I don't know if you noticed it, but like the relationship that the two of you have is exactly what you do with Thrive With Us, which is their business. You show that it is important to have somebody there to cheer you on, to be your partner, to be your coach, to be your mentor, to be your friend, whatever it is that you need, because you can and are more likely to get it done when you have somebody doing it with you. And
Mhm.
that's exactly what you guys provide for your clients too. Like they did a post recently of all the like wins and the messages that they got from their clients. And it just goes to show how successful you are at this and how your relationship that you have with each other is what you're sharing with your clients. And I think number one, it's so organic. Like you can just see how natural everyone feels around you guys. Like you guys just have this aura of like, I love you, I support you, and I'm gonna meet you where you are, and I'm gonna do it completely judgment free. Because something we talked about in the last episode too is just that there's so much out there on Instagram, on Facebook, on TikTok about what fit means and what it looks like to be fit. And there really is no look, there is no meaning. It's just, are you taking care of yourself? Are you having those small wins? Are you having something that we're going to talk about too is non-scale victories? And do you have somebody to encourage you with that?
Mm. Yeah, I think it's so important to have somebody in your corner, regardless of who that is. But having someone that's slightly outside of your day-to-day life is so helpful. That's the feedback that we get. It's so helpful for the ladies that we work with. And you know, we're like a female-only really company. I'm sure if a male came along, we would have a conversation, but we are not really edging towards that side of the market because we know what it's like to be a woman. Like we know what it's like to be busy, we know what it's like to work, we know what it's like to have kids, we know what it's like to try and like be everything to everybody. And there is often the person that we work with, the people that we work with, sorry, they don't have someone in their lives that can just say, girl, you're doing an amazing job. Like, stop putting yourself down. Really, you're doing an incredible job. If you can't get that one thing in, like we call them ticks, right? Because we have a list of things that we want people to achieve every day. If you can't get it in, why are you beating yourself up? You have done this, and this as well today. And you have, you know, worked, you've looked after all these people. You are the mental load holder for your family, and you are beating yourself up that you did X, Y, and Z. So we really are almost like a life support as well as the fitness bestie and like trying to get you on the nutrition train. Like they all come, but ultimately you need to like be able to love yourself, allow yourself to give yourself forgiveness if things don't go your way, and allow yourself to sort of grow into the person you want to be. It doesn't flip overnight. It doesn't just change. And that's the thing that when we first work with people, they sort of expect like, oh, I'm gonna pay this money, join this challenge, and then I'm gonna like get to where I want to be. But we really encourage people that it's a long game. This is a lifestyle change. If you want to achieve a lifestyle change, you need to do it in bits, basically. So
Yeah, you need to have that consistency. You need to show up every day. It's this kind of little bit every day, that one little change for the better is going to add up to a huge amount in the end. I actually saw a post that someone else had put on their stories about how she changed from full fat Coke just to Diet Coke. This was a change that she'd done. And she put out there that the amount of calories she was saving a week was like over 2,000 calories just by making that little switch. And I think like that, I mean, I was shocked by that number, that it was so much. But I think that sometimes people don't realize that these little changes, they don't think that they've made much of a difference that day. But we have to remind them that over the week, over the month, over the year, like that's huge, like really huge. I think for me anyway, it's like so easy to beat yourself up about the things that you didn't do rather than celebrating the things that you did do. So for us, like that's a huge part of what we're doing, is that we're trying to remind people about all the amazing things that they have done that day or that week when they are hung up so much on the one thing that they maybe didn't achieve.
I completely agree because when you have all of that stress load on you, when you are a mother, I mean, I'm not a mother yet, but like I would be lying if I said that that's not something I worry about. I want to be a mother one day in the future, and I definitely get scared of, can I handle all of that? Like, it's already hard enough to take care of yourself as somebody in their late 20s who is working multiple jobs, trying to be able to afford a house, you know, taking care of my dogs, my husband, my family. It's like, I I can't emphasize what you said enough, that we work so hard, especially as women. And I think you said it too, Tori. We are like the mental load carriers for whatever it is that you do in your life. Maybe like for me as a teacher, it's like I carry the load of all those little babies in my classroom. And during that day, I have to be their safe space, and that takes a lot. And the analogy I always refer to is a cup. You know, you cannot pour from an empty cup. It just doesn't work. But it is up to you then to fill your cup. But too often we think that filling a cup means I have to have had a perfect day of eating. I have to have six-pack abs by the time I'm done with my 2-month program. And I have to have done this and I have to have done that. And that's just not it at all. It's actually just, hey, did you get up and say something kind to yourself today? Did you, you know what, maybe you felt really crappy and you didn't feel like doing that workout, but did you at least get some fresh air? Did you go for a walk? Did you do the little ticks, like you said, to make sure that you are still taking care of you, because you will never be able to take care of anybody else or feel that love from everybody else if you don't provide it for yourself. So I think you hit that on the nose, which kind of makes me want to lead into more of what you guys are calling, and what a lot of people in the Instagram world know as non-scale victories. So talk to us about those. What are those for your clients? How can you track those? What is a non-scale victory?
Okay, so a non-scale victory is something that is not any way related to your weight, or the tracking of the weight down. Usually people worry about those scales reflecting the hard work that they are putting in, and it's a real positive way of reminding people that sometimes the weight and the number on the scales doesn't reflect the effort that you've put in sometimes. But that's okay, that's fine. You stop worrying about the scales, because it will eventually come if that's what you want to do. But yeah, we remind our girls all the time about non-scale victories, like maybe some jeans fit a bit better. Maybe that top that you had last year that was getting a bit tight is feeling a bit looser now. Maybe they've had a lovely compliment from somebody that says, oh, you look like you're glowing at the moment, and what are you doing? Or they've been confident enough to go to the gym and take a selfie in the gym. Those types of things that are just big wins, where they're showing a bit more confidence. One that I've had recently from a client is, she messaged me in the morning, so we always have a morning check-in, and before I'd even sent the message, she'd sent a selfie, which in itself is a big thing. Sending a selfie, she would never have done that usually. Saying, I'm out for a walk on a weekend away. I'm out for a walk before my day even gets started to get my steps in. That to me is the biggest non-scale victory that she's had, because I've not reminded her to do it. I have not suggested that she's done it. She has now taken that sort of early motivation that she had, created a routine, and most importantly, she has the discipline to implement these things that she knows makes her feel good about herself. So it was like an incredible non-scale victory for that particular client. But other ones have been, where they make better choices when they go out for dinner, or quite often I'll get like a picture of a menu saying, what would you have? And I'll, eventually go back and say, okay, what would you have? And they'll pick something that, is a really fantastic choice, when maybe they would have picked something, different a few months ago. So there's lots of ways to get a non-scale victory in. Do you have some, Kate, that you'd want to talk about?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think I've had them before, where people have been out for a run, and before they could only run 20 minutes or had to do intervals and actually managed to run 30 minutes without stopping. I think things like that are huge, ones that you can still measure. I do think that people do get so hung up on the scale, but being able to lift heavier or run further or run faster are huge things as well. I had one of our latest challenge girls, she was like slightly disappointed with what her weight said, and I sent her a picture of like what that looked like, what that fat looked like that she had lost, or that weight as fat, and she was like dumped that was actually what she had been carrying around with her every day. I think like people, once they get into that role of losing the weight and the numbers don't tick as fast as they kind of had at the beginning, which is quite normal, or it's not what they perceive to be from maybe something that they've seen or whatever, that it's that much, that they kind of forget actually how huge that is. I actually because a couple of the girls that I work with did the last challenge, and I actually took in some weight that they had lost. So I took in the weight plates, and I was like, would you want to carry this around in your pocket every day? They were like, no. It's like, well, that's what you were doing. Like, be proud of yourself. Like, stop beating yourself up that you think it's only this much. Like, that's huge. Like, I think, it
Yes,
is
because that takes it back to the whole thing of like what you see on Instagram and what you see on Facebook and on TikTok, and you're always seeing things and comparing yourself to other people who are at completely different points in their journey. And I love that you guys emphasize the non-scale victories, or the victories that they can't even see because they're too busy obsessing over something that they don't need to be. Like, that's hilarious that you give them the weight and you're like, carry this. Okay, isn't this heavy as hell? Like, this sucks. But you know what? You lost that. You've earned this. You've worked hard for this. And I just think that emphasizes the importance of having somebody like you two in their lives, because otherwise, like we said, we're too busy carrying that mental load of the world of, oh my God, I got to pack my kids' lunch. Oh my God, I got to make sure I got to do this and I got to do that. And I have to answer this email and I have to do the laundry. Like, the list will never end. It will never end. And I think that's something that we have to remind everybody, is that life goes on, for better or for worse, but it goes on. Things keep coming up, things happen all the time. And what you always need to make sure you do is that you take care of yourself, and that you are having a person like Tori or like Kate who is reminding you of the good things that you've done, the non-scale victories. Maybe that means even that, like, something that I know a lot of my clients see too is the weights too. Like, oh, I could do 5-pound bicep curls last week, but this week I kind of want to try the 7.5s. And it doesn't have to be this like dramatic change. Like, it can be literally, I just bumped up to 2.5 pounds. And I mean, we have them all the times ourselves too. So I think when we can talk about those, and we can be like, guys, I did this thing and I'm really proud of myself, you're also modeling for them, like, hey, these are the things that you should be proud of. Not if you've lost 50 pounds in 2 months. Not that that's not something to be proud of, but that's not attainable for everybody. But what are the things you're doing every day that show that you are showing up, that show that you are making a difference in your life, and that they are positive and you just don't know it yet?
One of the other things that we get people to do is take measurements instead of or on top of scale weight. And measurements are an incredible way of showing the changes in your body, because most of the girls that we're working with, they're also weight training and exercising as well as trying to lose fat. That doesn't always mean that you're going to lose weight. It means a body composition change, right? So seeing that the change in centimeters is fascinating, but also real great evidence to be like, but you are making changes. I'm sorry it's not on the scales. And that's because we are so conditioned to worry about what we weigh and trying to get as small as possible and all of that stuff. Like, I was looking at some reels the other day where TV show hosts used to comment on women's weights. Did you see that too?
Yes, I think
Where
I
they
did.
made made like Chris Evans made Victoria Beckham stand on some scales.
Yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
on a show,
On
live on
TV.
a show on TV. This was years ago.
I saw the one with Oprah Winfrey when they were like, you need to lose weight, right? And she was like, I'm working on it. I know. You didn't see that one either. It's everywhere. It's horrible. And it was, I think it was Joan Rivers. Like a woman to another woman was telling her, you need to lose weight.
Oh, yes, so
I
bad.
saw this one as well where they it's like, would anyone ever ask men these questions? And they're like posing these questions to the men, and the men are just like looking at like what? Like, like literally WTF, like what's going on here? And it's like, yeah, but this is the kind of questions that women get asked all the time. Like, it's just all the roles, how to get in shape for that role, or you were wearing that lighter outfit, how did that feel? Like, it's such a huge thing that it's okay to ask women these questions. It's just
so to bring it back to Taylor Swift, because we all love it. I was having a little preview of the Eras tour on Disney this morning with my daughter, because she's obsessed as well, and a song came on, and I forget what the title of the song is, but she basically says like, is it because I'm not a man, like can I not achieve these things? So
I'd be the man.
Yes, yeah, that's the one. And my daughter was like, what is she saying? And I said, well, I explained it to her, and I said, because some people think that women can't achieve the same things as men. And she just looked at me like, what? And I said, it's not true. It's not true. Don't ever let anyone let you believe that. And she's like, I can do whatever I want, mummy. And I was like, you can, darling, you can.
Yes, you can.
But I think but I was watching it thinking, have I ever let anyone knowingly stop me do anything because I'm female? And I would probably say no. Like, I've always pushed myself to do whatever. And in my day job, I'm at the top of where I can be, but everyone else is a man. How fun is that? So it's very interesting when I look at it from an outside perspective, but I don't feel it like daily. I don't feel it. I'm lucky. But my daughter's like, whatever, that's a load of rubbish. And I'm, was that in black and white times?
Yeah. I think that's so great though, isn't it? It's like the same thing with my daughter. Like, she's 5 and she just thinks that she's the best at everything, and nothing can stop her, and like that's so amazing. I was gonna, like, when you were just saying, I mean, I don't think I've ever let the fact that I'm a woman stop from doing anything, but I definitely think that I have been treated in a way that a man wouldn't be treated. Like, we're going like off on a completely different tangent here, but like, when I was like when I was working in a bar at university, the owner of the bar, who was like in his 50s at the time and I'm like 20, was like, asked every time I turned up for my shift, he would ask me in front of everybody if I could go on a date with him. And it was like this constant like thing where I felt really about it, and it was a joke, but it didn't feel like it. And when I said to my friends and like my co-workers, like, this makes me feel really uncomfortable, they were like, oh, he's only joking, like, don't worry about it. But a guy would never have been put in that situation.
No, it's not a joke. And that's part of the problem. It actually is related, because it's part of the problem with why we carry so much weight on our shoulders. We've been taught that. And it's why, I mean, I don't know why that women get it so bad, but it is whatever the reason is that started. Oh, it just makes me so angry. Like, I can't even articulate it.
But the good thing is now is, like, for example, I can't imagine my little AG being in that position. I think, like, if she went into work one day and this guy was like, well, when are you going to go out for a date with me? She'd be like, never. Like, she would just like shut it down and move on. Whereas, like, I think, I don't know whether it was just that we didn't have that empowerment that younger girls are having, or whether it, I don't know, but I don't feel like that fear for her. I just think that she just, doesn't have this preconception that she can't do whatever she wants, and that she can't be equal, and that she shouldn't be treated a certain way. I think she's just gonna, well, she'll probably take over the world, this one.
But I think that's true with with teenage boys as well. So I've got a son who's 14, and he pointed this out to me. I obviously don't really listen that well to lyrics of old songs that I used to love, right? So like 90s R&B. He's like, Mum, all of these songs are about cheating. And I was like, what? And he was like, yeah, all of them are about like, having a wife, like, but wanting someone else. And
Oh,
even remember Kelly Rowland and Nelly's song? That is
yeah.
literally about her having a husband and kid and going out and cheating with Nelly, like the whole song. But to me, that's like, uh, I love
Song from
the
your
tune
past.
of it and whatever. But
Yeah.
yeah, I think back that era of songs, that generation of songs, was literally all about men treating women like commodities. And but I loved the songs, but I
Yeah.
didn't realize what it was about at the time. I didn't realize what it's about, but it was essentially saying like it's totally fine, and like I've got a wife and a mistress and whatever. So it's sort of in our things that we're absorbing, like in the media and our music, all of these things that we have absorbed over the years, has
Mm.
told us just be quiet, be treated how you are treated. End of story.
Wrong. Wrong. Wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But how funny is it that my son pointed that out to me?
I love that
Yeah.
because that goes to show A, that you've done a wonderful job raising him because he was able to notice like something like that. And B, it goes to show that I hope that we are moving in the right direction and we are moving
I
to
think so.
a world where women are treated better and a world where we can thrive. I mean, that's literally what your business is called, Thrive with Us. And we need to, as women, as mothers, as people who are leaders, reteach the world how to treat us. And we have to that starts by reteaching ourselves with how we should be treated. And in order to do that, we need to take care of ourselves first. So no, all of that was totally on topic because it's the root problem. It is because it's the root problem. It's the way you're raised. It's the way that our mothers might have lived their life. And you're right. I mean, I think every single person has either a minor story or a major story, especially women. Not to say that men don't go through their own struggles, because like I mean, I know for a fact that they do, but for women specifically with this episode, I think every single woman could tell you some kind of story, whether it was, extremely rude or just like a little pass that was like, yikes, don't say that again. Somebody's made a comment about their body. And I'm sure like the three of us even have a moment what we could think of that either somebody said something or somebody made us think something about our bodies or about the way we're living our life. I mean, you guys can't see Tori and Kate's face, but they're both like nodding yes. And it's like,
Mm-hmm.
it's crazy because
Just literally made me just think of something that happened this week that I wouldn't have even put into this category. How
I
funny.
know it still happens, which is bad.
Yeah.
We have to reteach the world how to treat us. But like I said, it has to come with you first. You have to be that stepping stone, which means that you need to know how to treat yourself first. And a lot of that comes with celebrating those non-scale victories, celebrating just the fact that you did something. That's a non-scale victory too. I mean, the other day, I did not feel like going to the gym. I didn't feel like going to the parking lot. I didn't feel like parking the car, getting out. Like I didn't feel like doing the whole thing. I was like, I'm so tired from work. And one of two things could have happened. I could have just said, you know what? Screw it. I'm not going to do it today. I'm not going to do anything today. Or I can listen to my body and I can just do something else. And that's a huge win because I didn't beat myself up and force myself to do a workout when I was really tired and I could have like hurt myself. What I did instead was I was like, you know what? Let's go for a walk. Like clearly your mindset needs it. Clearly your body still needs something, but maybe this isn't the answer for you right now. So that's a perfect example of a victory and just celebrating the little victories that you do every single day and not giving up on yourself.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely, and that's definitely what we encourage with our girls as well. So the exact same thing happened to one of my girls yesterday, who's on our one-on-one coaching program, and she had all these plans to go to the gym. She had, you know, dinner that she wanted to cook. We'd all discussed it throughout the day. And then when I checked in with her later and was like, hey, how'd your day go? She's like, oh God, I was so tired. After work, I slept on the sofa and I missed my gym session. I don't want to eat, you know, and then I said, well, just listen to your body. If you're tired, like something is, because it's very unusual for her to fall asleep in the day, you know. Listen to yourself. You might not be well, just don't push yourself. And then lo and behold, this morning she's woken up and she's really not feeling well. And you know, she had to make that decision to listen to her body in that instance. But I think, you know, when you are trying to find the excuses versus you not being well. And that is a great thing that we get to learn with our clients that we work with, because you become friends with them instantly. You're in each other's text messages or WhatsApp messages more than your actual friends, you know, or family, or you know, you talk to them more than you talk to anyone, and you get to know them so well, and you can really see whether it's an excuse or whether it's you're not good. And that's where we step in and say, you know, that's totally fine, but is this going to get you where you want to be? Is this going to step towards your end goal? Is this something that you're going to put off just because you're feeling a bit because you had a crappy day at work? You know, all of these things, you're going to feel so much better. Remember last week when you did this and you felt amazing, you know, and then you get a text like, so I'm out for a walk with my umbrella. You know? And you have to super praise it so much, like, because they have definitely made a great choice for them in that moment, and that's what we're trying to do. But to notice the difference between really not feeling good and not feeling well versus feeling a bit lazy and can't be bothered is a very different thing.
I have this one client, actually, she won't mind me saying, because we've joked about it together, but when she messages me, she's like already on the defensive. So she's like, I'm going to have a glass of wine tonight. I deserve it. I've had a really tough week. And I know you're going to say that I shouldn't have one, but I really, and she like starts arguing. And I'm like, it's cool. If you want a glass of wine, have a glass of wine. We will, like, you know, we'll get it into your macros. We'll plan it. It will be fine. And then by the time I've like said that, she's like, yeah, well, I'm not going to have one now. Actually, I've decided it won't you know, do me any good, and tomorrow I won't feel good for it, and blah blah blah. And she's already like argued her point round before I've even had a moment to interject. And I think it's great when they actually know really what you're going to say and what's best for them, and that when you don't necessarily do agree with them, it's not because you're trying to be mean or you're trying to stop them from having any fun. It's that we want what's best for them. We want that every day that what they are doing is reaching towards their end goal. So, you know, I think it's tough when you have to be tough as well. Like Tori said, we become very friendly with these girls, but at the same time, we have to be an outsider a bit as well. We are their friends, but we have to also say to them, what you are doing now and the choices that you're making today aren't aligning with your end goal. And, you know, we don't want you to feel guilty about anything. We are definitely not about guilt or shame or restriction or any of those things. But at the same time, we want you to reach your end goal. That is the reason that you're working with us. So we can't just say, yeah, okay, don't work out today. Yeah, okay, don't work out tomorrow. Yeah, okay, eat that takeaway. Yeah, okay, because you're not going to achieve that end goal. And, you know, so there has to be a little bit of tough love in there as well.
Oh yeah. That's not, you're not going to see any progress if you're not pushing. And I think it's something that a lot of people struggle with, is like, this is so hard, I don't want to do this. And it's like, okay, yeah, but if it was easy, everybody would be doing it. We would all have these beautiful bodies. We already have beautiful bodies, but we would all have these beautiful bodies that we accept and that we love. And unfortunately, we live in a world where a lot of people don't. And instead, they are like, oh my God, like, I'm so upset with myself today. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to now get my takeout food. I'm going to do
sabotage it further.
Yeah.
And there's definitely a difference between, like you both said, there's a difference between I need to rest, I've worked so hard this week. And you know what? Because I had a client literally tell me this last night. She was like, "Jolie, I was so on it this week. I'm so tired. Like, do I have your permission to have a glass of red wine and just order a pizza?" And I was like, yes, yes. Like, you worked your ass off this week. Now, if she had told me, "Julie, I've had a shit week. I didn't do this. I didn't do that. I haven't been working out. I haven't done this. I just really want another glass of wine." My response would have been totally different. And I would have told her, "I totally understand that you're tired. I understand that you're exhausted. And I know it's been a rough week. But like you guys said, like, is this really going to make you feel better, or are you stuck in a habit?" And I think that's why people need people like you guys, because you provide that outlet for them. So for anybody who's listening and is like, "Oh my God, like, Tori, Kate, help me." What can they do? Like, do you guys have anything coming up, or any groups or challenges? Like, how can they access you?
Yes, well, we do. We actually have our next group challenge starting on the 8th of April and lasting for 8 weeks. And it's called our Show Up and Glow Up Challenge. So, so this time we are definitely working on the whole and what wellness encompasses. Yes, we want the girls to achieve their goals. And if that goal is weight loss, then we will support them and guide them on how to do that. But for a lot of the girls, it's not always about weight loss. It's about, okay, getting rid of that mum guilt, or that guilt of taking time for themselves to do the workout, or to have a sauna or a spa day, or go for a walk and listen to a podcast or sit and read. So it's about really kind of supporting, encouraging, motivating, and allowing these women to understand that they are worthy of that time, and that they're worthy of putting themselves first, and building that confidence with it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think we did a 6-week challenge previously, so we had one at the beginning of the year, and the feedback from the girls who did the challenge was it wasn't long enough. Like, they wanted a few more weeks. So we've listened to the feedback and we've changed it to an 8-week challenge, so that people have got a little bit more under their belts, that if they decide after that the challenge was enough for them and they want to go off and do it by themselves, then that's fine. But if they want to move on to one-to-one coaching, which is what we provide as a core with our business, they can move on to that, but they already know fully what to expect from us. And then with the one-to-one, they get way more, like, it's more intense, because it's obviously direct conversation with us all the time. And the group challenge is held on private Facebook groups. So we split people into maximum of groups of 10.
Okay.
So that they can have that relationship with each other, and encourage each other, because you need to find your gang of girls. You need the people that can say, "Oh my God, you've done an amazing job today." Like, we want that. And that naturally occurred, didn't it, Kate, with our last. We did not need to do any of that. People were just so friendly and loving and kind. And when people had a crappy day, other people like, "Oh, stepped in, and it'll be fine. Like, tomorrow's a new day. Don't worry about it."
Yeah,
Oh,
draw a line and move on. It was like and then I think it kind of felt like towards the end of the challenge as well, that the girls were also, they were really supporting each other, but they were also calling each other out a little bit, like, oh, oh, I'm like 200 steps off, but I really don't want to go and do it. And the girls were like, "Come on, get up, do those 200 steps, do some laps of your house," like they're
yes.
so then taking over our role a little bit, that they were saying the things that we would have said. So
sharing recipes and lovely pictures of, like, scenic walks. That was so nice. It was just so lovely, and we obviously enabled this community to be created, and it was really sweet. And all the feedback at the end was like, "Oh, I wish we could continue. Are you going to keep the groups live? Can we keep in touch with each other?" So it's very sweet.
I love that so much. I feel like that is the perfect example of what we were talking about. Like, how can we create a world where women encourage each other, women empower each other. And instead of us comparing our bodies or comparing what you did versus what I did, we say to each other, like, okay, today was rough. But then the other women are like, it's okay. Like, it was rough for me too. Like, you're not alone. But girl, don't you dare let those 200 steps just sit there. Like, we have to do that to each other in order to foster and build the life that we're trying to live. And I really think you guys are doing such a good job of doing that. And we need so much more of this in the world. And I always tell my clients too, like, I think one of the most bittersweet things is actually when your client is like, I think I can do this. Like, I really think I can do this now. And they're doing things on their own. And like, I had one client, she was an older client of mine. So like, she's not my client anymore, but watching her thrive right now is just like, I see her like walking around our neighborhood and I'll see her like doing all these things that I'm like, I am so proud of you. And like, there's that like really like, just like that strong sense within your heart that you're like, I taught her that. And it's like, just like all this like proud moments, but like it's working. And you have to create this world of women, and you're creating it day and day and day and day out, of women who really just want to live their best life. And I think your word thrive with us is perfect, because thriving each day looks different. Some days it's like, I drank all my water, I did my walk, I went to the gym, I did this, I did that. And then other days it's like, you know what? I had maybe 2 slices of pizza instead of 5, but I still had the pizza. Or it's saying, you know what? I had one binge eating episode, but I caught myself and I'm not going to let another one occur, because so many wins happen throughout the day that we have to cheer each other on. And I mean, for you guys listening, you need somebody like this in your life. And if you have not yet looked into Kate and Tori's Thrive With Us community, I highly recommend it, especially if you follow me and you follow them. Like, you need to have people that you follow, people that you engage with, that support this style of life. Because I think the biggest thing too is the lack of support outside of what people like us offer.
Yeah, we absolutely find that. So one of the things that we discuss with people when we onboard them is, you know, what's your lifestyle like? What's your family set up like? What does your husband, your partner, what your family think about what you're doing and trying to achieve? And I would say 9 times out of 10, they will say something along the lines of, they take the mickey a bit out of me, or they don't understand. Sorry?
I think this is another fad, you know, like sometimes when maybe
another fad,
or on their own, and you know, the kind of the phrase "here we go again" gets kind of thrown out.
Lots of these things where they don't support, which feels like the most alien thing, but we've all experienced it as well, where the people closest to you in your life don't support the thing that you want to achieve and don't encourage it. And I think that's the main reason why I looked to have this sweat community support when I first started this, doing all of this. But slowly but surely, as I've become way more open with, my fitness account and the Thrive stuff that I'm doing, and obviously doing it with Kate as well, I've managed to gain even more confidence. So I'm able to share things on my Facebook and tell people about it. And before, I was like embarrassed because I didn't know what their reaction would be, because I did used to get the whole, oh, here she is, the one trying to be fit again, or and I still to this day get comments about, oh, do you just want to be really skinny, and stop, are you trying to lose weight? And it's, for me, it's not about that anymore. It absolutely is not about that. Yes, I want to look good, and yes, I want to feel good, but for me, this is too embedded in what I am now for it to be anything but part of my personality and how I feel mentally good about myself. So when we have these onboarding discussions with the girls that we work with, we literally say to them, we know what it's like to have people in your life not support you. we are going to support you. We are going to be your fitness best friends, and we are going to get you through this and build your confidence. And that is by far the best thing that you can have, feel when someone moves on from you, because we don't want them to be with us forever. We want them to have that confidence to go off and do it by themselves. And I think that we tell these people that we work with that we're proud of them. They don't get that from anywhere else in their life. Not one other person in their lives will say to them on a weekly basis, we're so proud of you. You've really put in an effort this week. I honestly don't think that people get it elsewhere. It could just be a British thing as well, to be honest, because I would imagine that we are not sherry with our feelings.
No.
But you have to say it 100 times for them to believe you. And then once they actually genuinely believe what you're saying, oh, it's so lovely. It's the best feeling ever.
Oh, it's an American thing too. Trust me. There's so much fake fitness out there of like, let me sell you this product and you're gonna like it. Like for me, I have recently found like gut health supplements that really actually help my gut. And sometimes I feel fake posting it because it's like, I just actually really like this. And like, I really do. But I know there's people out there who post these things just because they want you to buy their product. And it's like, no, like I would never want that for people out there because it is out there. And there are people who are conditioned to think like what you said, Kate, here we go again. Like, oh, another person wanting you to do this who's part of an MLM or a pyramid scheme and just trying to, get you on their team and all this bullshit. And it's like, no. I feel the same way with my clients too. Like, forget the supplements that I like. Like, I am just saying, like, I like these things and I actually notice a difference with these things. And it's the same thing with working out. Like, let me show you how to actually do it. But there's so many times that people don't believe you because there is so much bullshit out there. And there is so many times that they are not told, you know what, you are doing a good job. So when genuine people like the three of us show up in people's lives, people are like, no, I'm not falling for your bullshit again. And it's like, no, honey, this is not bullshit.
Yeah. And we're so lucky though, really, that the results of all of our clients speak for themselves, because we don't need to be getting into people's DMs trying to persuade them. If they like one of our pictures, we're not going to be like, oh, hey, are you interested in our business? Like, we are not about that life. Absolutely not. Sales women, we are not. Let's say that. But, we don't need to do that because people see the results, and we've got great word of mouth from our other girls that we've worked with. That's the majority. How people that get in contact with us wanting to do coaching with us is, oh, you work with so and so, and she's been telling me how amazing it is, and like how much it's changed her life. And like, we just got these incredible women that have got the results, that are able to tell their friends and tell other people, and then they come to us too. Like, that is so amazing.
That's exactly
for our business.
Yeah. Those girls have worked so hard, and you can see the results, and people are commenting on it, and then because they've appreciated how we've helped them, they've passed it on. And that's how we've got most of the new people that have got in contact with us, is because they've seen the results of the girls and how fantastic they're looking and feeling. And it's definitely the best compliment.
Absolutely. You don't need no hey girl messages, no awkward like, the only time I'll ever send a message is if somebody didn't respond. I'll just be like, oh, hey girl, did you get my message? But like, that's it. There is never ever a time where I'm like, hey girl, I'm running a group challenge and I want you to be able to buy this $150 supplement to be able to be a part of my team. It's like, no. Like you said, let the results speak for themselves. Let your clients speak for you. That's the best thing you can do, because majority of my clients are clients that I had at the gym, and then their friends, and then their friends' friends. And then like my family will be like, oh my God, Julie's like doing this thing. So then it's like, maybe not my family that's doing it, but my family's friends. Connections and word of mouth are so much better than the awkward hey girl messages in a DM box. But tell us, as we wrap this up, what can we look forward to for Thrive with us? Do you guys have any future plans you can share? Any future things that we can sign up for? Like you said, you've got a challenge coming up. How can we do it? How can we be a part of the Thrive world?
Yeah, I mean, we've got the challenge. That's the next thing that we've got going on. So that's 8th of April that it's starting, 8 weeks. Actually finishes on my birthday. So we will have a birthday finishing celebration together. But so that's the next challenge we've got. And then the one-to-one coaching, which, like Tori said, is more personal, is kind of ongoing all the time. So that's kind of just a case of going onto our website, having a look at the current options. We've got different sign-up forms, or if you just want a bit more information, you can send us a hey girl.
Yes.
And we will definitely respond to you.
Natural hey girl messages only, please.
Hey girl.
Yeah.
So no, we this is kind of, that's how we've got things at the moment. We're actually going to see each other in real life soon. And that will be a big kind of, I don't know, little planning session and getting our ideas aligned and things like that. So
because for those of you that don't know, Kate lives in Sweden and I live near London in England. So, we're not always in the same country at the same time.
No, exactly.
And I'm all the way here in America, and these girls did the best thing like ever by making this time frame thing work. And okay, that's 3 p.m. your time, 4 p.m. my time, 11 a.m. my time. That's the best thing about community too, is like it brings everybody together from all over the world. And like, had we not had Sweat and had our own accountability, what started our own fitness journey, we would have never connected.
No,
it's fate, isn't it?
It is.
But that's a really good point, actually. So we have girls from all over the world joining us in our challenge. This is not just a European-based challenge. Last challenge, we had somebody from Florida.
Yeah.
Is she in Florida?
I don't know.
Maybe I've made a boo-boo. She's from the States anyway.
So that's a couple states away, but Florida.
Yeah, she definitely went to Florida a few times during the challenge anyway. But yeah, lives, works, is American. And that was incredible because it just worked for anybody. You don't have to be in a time zone. There is no problems. Anyone can join from anywhere. So don't be put off if you just think that we are a European-based challenge organization. Like, we are not. We're all over the place.
Oh yes, that's the best thing about doing things online. I mean, it's amazing when I read the stats on this podcast and I can see like who's listened to it in what countries, and I can see like even with just like my client forms and stuff like that, like I see people are like, oh yeah, like I saw you on so and so's page, or I saw you here. It's like we live in such a great time to be able to do things like this, and for you guys to be able to grow and expand and meet people everywhere and show them the ropes on how to take care of yourself, how to live your best life, how to thrive. I mean, I'm so excited for you guys. And from where you were at the beginning of our first episode, or like Tori was all nervous and like we were like, we're gonna do this. Like we just started this thing. Like it's just I'm just so proud. I'm so happy for you guys. You to like, I can't even articulate it. I'm just so proud. That's why I had you come back, because it's just so amazing watching you guys change the world one step at a time.
Oh, thanks. Very kind of you. Thank you so much for having us.
There, isn't it? We're not very good at taking the compliments either.
That's very British of you.
Very British.
Very European. Yeah. It's okay. I'm Greek too.
I was thinking that, how funny is it that an Australian company brought us together?
Wow, there we go. Let's bring a full circle here.
Full international.
It's really funny you say that though, because like I always tell everybody I'm Greek. So like, even though I can give the compliments and like whatever, it's like when someone gives it to me, I'm like, thanks. It's like, oh, that's a European in you. But that's something that you have to work on with your accountability coach, because you do have to be able to take it when you compliment yourself, and you do have to be able to cheer yourself on, because there's going to be times when you do not have that. And that's why you want Kate or you want Tori. You want somebody there to cheer you on, but you do still have to practice doing it yourself. I'm getting better.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, thank you guys so much for doing this episode with me. And to everybody listening, please give Kate some love, give Tori some love, give Thrive With Us some love. Give us all the love. We love you guys so much. We are so thankful for everybody who's listening to this show. And then for myself, as always, thank you guys for always showing up for the Busy Life podcast. It really, really, really means the world to me. And I cannot wait to talk to you guys next time. And I hope you guys have a great day.